It was 1976, and the Queen of England came to New York to wish America a happy 200th birthday. Tomorrow, Her Majesty will be back for her first visit to New York since the nation's bicentennial. Queen Elizabeth will visit the World Trade Center site, will address the United Nations. Senior UN correspondent Richard Roth has more.
It will be Queen for half day in New York City.
Her Majesty, the Queen of England, will be here, going to visit.
Her first visit since 1976. She's not been to New York in 30 years.
Well, we're not giving it back.
She hasn't been here since
I think she's been here for many years, but...
Does she not like New York?
Oh, she'll love it. She'll love it. Why not?
At Tea and Sympathy in Greenwich Village, the Queen is already here. But owner and dual citizen Nikki Perry is upset she won't be here for the Queen.
I would love to offer her a nice piece of Welsh rarebit and a proper cup of tea.
I tried to prepare the former commoners. Can you bow for me? Not bad. What would you tell her?
What would I tell her? That you're beautiful.
Don't you tell that to all the women on the street in the summer here?
I do, but there's a different beauty involved here.
If she's around and wants to get high tea with me, just give me a call. No? She was very cordial last time we had it.
I'd try and sell her a diamond watch.
You think she needs jewelry?
Everyone needs jewelry.
What do Americans not know? I mean, we don't know what it's like to have a queen.
You've got plenty of queens in America.
A queen could have some royal fun in the big city.
She makes very highly scripted visits. She isn't going to be doing what Prince Harry did the other day in New York, getting on a polo pony and falling off, which made news all around.
Some New Yorkers would rather the grandkids stayed longer. You would like to have tea with her?
Yeah, or her grandsons.
I now respectfully request Her Majesty.
The Queen will first speak to the world at the United Nations, as she did in 1957. The Queen was 31 years old then when she noted the UN's problems.
Time has, in fact, made the task of the United Nations more difficult than it seemed when the terms of the Charter were agreed at San Francisco 12 years ago.
Then it's a motorcade trip downtown, perhaps passing this musician.
I think she would just go, like this, like she does to everyone, instead of like that, which would be pretty cool.
The Queen visits where the Twin Towers stood and a garden where the 67 British citizens who died on 9/11 are remembered.
This is the place for the British, and it's also about the unity of our two nations. We've been, ever since we got over 1776, we've been shoulder to shoulder.
I'll say God bless the Queen.
What about God Save the Queen?
God save the Queen, too.
Richard Roth, CNN, New York.
It has been decades since the Queen's last visit to New York, as Richard pointed out there. So what can we expect from Her Majesty this time? Here were some answers for us. Is Richard Quest. Lovely to see you here in person for once. So tell me a little bit about the speech. Her role, obviously, is largely ceremonial. So given that, how significant is a speech before the United Nations?
I think it is very significant in the sense that she will be talking about leadership. She will be talking about the different challenges of the United Nations. But as she does so, unlike any here today, gone tomorrow politician, the Queen comes with a unique perspective, having been in power, if you like, being Queen, for 6 decades. 1957 was when she talked about the difficulties of setting up the United Nations. Now she's going to talk more about the challenges for the future. And remember, sorry to... remember, once I start, it's very difficult to stop me on this one. Remember, she comes and speaks as the head of state of 16 realms, Australia, Canada, the UK, New Zealand and onwards, as well as head of the Commonwealth.
So why now? If 1957 was the last time she was here, why choose this moment?
Well, the palace tell me that she was invited by the Secretary-General. Of course, there's more than one way to get invited. You can suggest that an invitation might be welcome and forthcoming. And there are some at the United Nations that are suggesting that maybe the palace wanted to do this. After 6 decades on the throne, I think the Queen she's not wrapping up and she's not slowing down and she's not about to abdicate or anything like that. But I think she is starting to put finesse and finish to her long reign in that sense.
So in addition to her speech before the UN, is she going to have any fun while she's here?
No, well, I mean, this is very different to 57, when in 57 she had lunch at the Waldorf. In 76 she went shopping at Bloomingdale's. This time it's a lot more somber. You've got the UN speech, You've got Ground Zero, remembering the 67 British people who died.
Right.
She'll be meeting some of the families from that, and then it's home, back to the UK. So it's look, who knows how many more visits somebody like the Queen has in her,
right,
to a place like the US.
Well, it will be entertaining and enlightening, I think, for all of us to have her here and to sort of see how things are done.
Yeah, and people are fascinated at how she's going to handle the hot temperatures.
Yeah.
But remember, this is a woman for whom Africa is her backyard as part of the realms. The Caribbean is round the corner. So don't expect to see her wilt in the heat.
Okay, duly noted. Richard Quest, it's good to have you here. Thanks, Richard. Coming up next,